number we did already in the issue of shares.
Sir, 25.
Question number 23.
Yeah.
Prerna, we'll wait for 2 more minutes so that other student could also join, and then we'll start our session. We'll be talking about the forfeited shares being reissued in today's class. I guess in the previous session we already covered the forfeiture of share, right?
Yes, sir.
Forfeiture of share if it was issued at par, and we also did forfeiture of share when the shares were issued at premium. In today's session, we'll be talking about the reissue of the forfeited. Can we wait for 2 more minutes?
All right, sir.
Okay, Prerna. Let's start the session. So
Yes, sir.
let's talk about the forfeited shares reissue. So as I told you, as we talked about the forfeiture of share in the previous session, I told you that when any investor who have subscribed to certain number of share and he default in the payment of certain number of share because of any reason, then his shares are forfeited by the company. Forfeiture of share basically means taking back the number of shares allotted to such person and cancelling his shares. Then, since company have cancelled the number of shares issued to such person, after cancelling and claiming the shares back, what company does with that share? Company reissue those shares to some other investor to raise fund, because the previous investor or the subscriber of share have defaulted in the payment, so company did not able to recover the amount in respect to the share. Therefore, to whatever the loss or the whatever the amount that company was not able to realize, company try to realize that amount by reissuing those shares to some other investor. This is called reissue of share, issue of the forfeited shares. Okay, and because the shares are being reissued, because the forfeited shares are being reissued, so it requires accounting treatment. So in today's class, we'll be talking about the accounting treatment, or specifically speaking, we'll be talking about the journal entry that we'll have to do when company reissue the forfeited share to some other person to raise the funds. Okay. So I hope this is clear to you. Now we'll talk about the journal entry that is usually done when the shares are reissued. Journal entry will be, this is the journal entry. Journal entry will be for the reissue of shares if the reissue price is more than the paid up value. That will be bank account debit to share capital account to security premium reserve account. Now let me just give you an example to make it more clear. Let's suppose company have forfeited 100 shares, and the face value of such share, or you can also call it issue price of such share was, let's suppose uh, it was 10 rupees per share, and these shares are being reissued, reissue reissued shares. The company may decide to reissue all the share that has been forfeited, or company may also reissue part of the shares has been forfeited. Like if company have decided to issue only 40 shares out of the 100 shares forfeited, that is considered as the partial issue of the forfeited share. But like for example, like for the time being, let's talk about that company is issuing all the shares that it has forfeited earlier. So 100 shares are being reissued. So when the shares are reissued now, we have to fix a particular amount at which it will be offered to the new investor. All right. So let's suppose issue price of the forfeited share, issue price of the forfeited share is 8 rupees. Company have to fix a particular amount at which it will be reissued to the it will be issued to the new investor. And along with the reissue price, company have to fix a paid up value of such share. Number of shares being reissued, company have to fix a particular amount as a paid up value for that share as well. Let's suppose the paid up value, its company have fixed it at rupees 9 per share. Company may fix any amount, like company have fixed the paid up value as 9 and the issue price is 6. Let us, at the discretion of the company, whatever the price that company is willing to fix, they may fix. The paid up value will be according to the basically the company, and the reissue price will also be determined by the company only. Okay, but there are certain rules regarding the there are certain rules regarding the fixation of the uh, uh, reissue price and the I mean there is a rule that talks about the maximum discount that can be given at the time of the reissue of shares, and there are certain rules which also talk about the minimum what should be the minimum reissue price. So maximum discount that we can allow and what should be the minimum reissue price. There are certain rules. Following those rules, company have to fix the reissue price. We'll talk about that later, but just right now for the time being, let's focus upon that when the forfeited share are reissued, then company will be fixing a particular price at which it will be reissued, and company has to fix the paid value for those shares as well. Okay. Now, if the reissue price of the shares are more than the paid up value, then journal entry will be done differently. And if the reissue price is less than the paid up value, then the journal entry will be different. Like the example that I took, as for this example, you can see the paid up value is rupees 9 and the reissue price is by the company is 6 rupees. That means this time the paid up value is more than the reissue price. All right, and basically you can treat this as a situation of loss. Paid up value of the share which is being issued is 9, but it is being issued at 6 rupees per share. That means we have a situation of loss here. Okay. There could be a vice versa situation when the issue price, let's suppose it is 12 rupees per share, but the paid value is only 9 rupees. So if the shares are reissued and its paid value is 9 and the reissue price is 12, in that situation, this situation is considered as a situation of profit. You can say for the time being. And in both the situations, total entry will be done differently. Like if we talk about this case, let's call it case A. If we need to pass the journal entry for this situation, journal entry will be, pay attention, try to understand. Since we will be reissuing the 100 shares at rupees 6 per share, so we will be receiving 6 rupees per share in respect of 100 shares. So that will be received in the bank directly, right? So the journal entry will be bank account debit. Bank account will be debited by what amount? 100 into 600. All right. 2, 2, 2, share capital. 2, share capital account. Now you need to keep this in mind that bank account is always debited by the amount that company is going to receive by reissuing the forfeited share. The number of shares reissued, NSR stands for number of shares reissued, into issue price of the share. So as per our example, number of shares reissued is 100 and the reissue price is 6 rupees per share. So 600 is the total amount that we will be going to collect. But the share capital account will be credited by what amount? So for that purpose, we'll have to multiply the number of shares reissued with the paid up value. Keep that in mind. And as per our example, number of shares reissued is 100 and paid up value was 9 rupees per share. So the sum total of it will be 900. Got it? Now you can see there is a difference. Bank account is debited by 600. Share capital account is credited by 900. So there is a difference. That means debit side is less than the credit side. Debit aspect of the journal entry is less than the credit aspect. So that difference which is arising is considered as a loss, and loss is transferred to share forfeited account. This is adjusted with the share forfeited account. Share forfeited account. Like as per this example, there is a loss of 300, which will be adjusted to the or transferred to the share forfeited account. The share forfeited account will be debited by 300. Debit balance of share forfeited account indicate that we had suffered a loss of 300 rupees. Okay, is that clear, Prerna, to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's talk about situation B, case B. So what if, excuse me. So as per case B, 100 shares are again being reissued, but this time paid up value is 9 and issue price is 12 rupees. So if it is such kind of situation, then the journal entry will be bank account debit 100 into 100 into the the issue price, right? That means welcome to share capital account. Share capital account. As I told you, share capital account will be credited by the number of shares reissued, the multiply with the paid up value. Paid up value is 9 rupees only, so 900. Got it? Again, both the aspect of the entry is not telling. So therefore, we can interpret this as a situation of profit. We have received more amount than the paid value of the share. Got it? And therefore, the excess amount that we have received will be transferred to security premium reserve account. The extra amount that we are receiving will be treated as a security premium reserve. Security premium account or security premium reserve account. Same. You understand that? Is that clear to you? So I explained two situations. Number one, number of shares which has been forfeited earlier, company have decided to reissue those shares. Then when company reissue those shares, company generally do one thing. Company generally fix the paid value of those shares which is being reissued and also fix the reissue price. And if the reissue price is greater than the paid value, then that is considered as a situation of profit and excess amount, excess value at which shares are being reissued, excess amount than the paid up value will be transferred to the security premium reserve account. And if the reissue price is less than the paid up value, then the uh, basically the difference arising will be debited to the share forfeited account. Okay. Now, so just tell me one thing: whether the paid up value will always be there in the question. Whether the paid up value will always be there in the question, answer is no. Paid up value may not be there in the question. In fact, in most of the question, paid up value is not there. So just keep this in mind. If the paid up value is not given in the question, then paid up value is always taken as equal to the face value of the share. So whatever the face value of the forfeit share was, that will be considered as the paid up value of the forfeited share. Whatever the face value of the forfeited shares were at the when it was issued previously. If it was issued at a face value of 10 rupees, then the face value, paid up value of the reissued share will also be considered as 10 rupees. Okay, is that fair? Is it
Yes, sir.
fair? Okay. Just do one thing. Please write down the equivalent in both the situations. Please note this down. Let me know once you are done. We'll try to understand the situation through one or two examples.
Done, sir.
All right. Janab, you're done as well. Okay. Let's try to understand the concept of reissue through this example. You don't have to write this down. Just focus and try to understand everything. It says 1,000 forfeited shares were reissued at 90 per share, having a paid value of 75 per share. Like in this case, it is specifically given in the question that the paid value of the shares is 75. It is being reissued at 90 per share, and the number of shares which is being forfeited is 1,000. So we will be passing the journal entry for this as bank account debit. Bank account will be debited by 1,000 into 90 because the reissue price is 90 rupees per share. So the total amount debited to bank account will be 9,000. Then we need to credit the share capital account by 7,500. How did we get 7,500? Just by multiplying 1,000 shares which is being forfeited into the paid up value of the shares. And as you can see, the paid up value is also there in the question specifically. Most of the time it is not there in the question. But like because we are covering just the example, so I put that in the example. So 1,000 into 75. That will be 7,500. And the security, the difference arising will be transferred to the security premium reserve because the paid up value is less than the issue price. The issue price is greater than the paid up value, therefore, the security premium reserve account will be there in the journal entry, and the excess amount will be transferred to the security premium reserve account. I hope this is clear. Then right now. Done? Is it clear?
Sir, 1,000 into 90 is 90,000.
Yeah, okay. So that is the just a minute. I just missed 1 0 in the calculation. Just a minute. Let me just correct it. Okay, now it is clear now. It is correct now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let's talk about the situation number 2. 800 forfeited shares are being reissued at 65 per share. This time the paid value was 85 per share. So as you can see, it is clear in the question itself that the paid value is more than the face value. Oh, sorry, the reissue price. So we will be suffering a loss. So the treatment of this will be bank account debit 800 into 65, which is 52,000. Then to share capital account 800 into 85, 68,000. Difference arising is a loss. That loss will be transferred to the share forfeited account 800 into 20, which is 16. It is clear.
Yes.
Prerna. Then okay. Now let's talk about the whether at the time of the reissue of share we can allow discount to the new investor, or at what price, what should be the minimum price at which the forfeited share should be reissued. So the rule says the maximum discount that can be allowed at the time of reissue cannot exceed the amount that has already been received by the company when the shares were first issued to the public. At the time of reissue of shares, maximum discount that a company may allow cannot exceed the amount that has already paid or received by the company when the shares were first issued to the previous investor, you can say. Let me give you an example. Let's talk about there was one investor, Mr. Gupta, to whom 100 shares were issued. And he was supposed to pay 3 rupees on application, then 4 rupees on allotment, 2 rupees on first call, and 1 rupee on final call. This is how he was supposed to pay 10 rupees per share. Okay. Now, what he did, when the application was due, he paid for the application. Allotment was made due, he paid for the allotment as well. But when the first call was due, he did not pay the first call. Neither he paid the final call. And since he did not pay first and final call, after that, company have decided to forfeit his 100 share. Okay. Now, since the company have reached, and when company forfeited his share, tell me what is the amount per share that he have already paid to the company in respect of 100 share? What amount company have already received in respect of 100 shares? What amount per share that the company has already received? Company have already received the application amount. Company have already received the allotment amount, right? But he did
Yeah.
not pay first and final call. That means total amount that company have already received. Company have already received 7 rupees per share. Okay. Now after some time, let's say after 1 or 2 months later, company have decided to reissue the shares that company has forfeited because of the non-payment of the first and final call by Gupta. So company have decided to issue 100 shares again. And this time, company, let's suppose the company have fixed the paid up value of the share as let's suppose 10 rupees per share. Company have fixed the paid up value as 10 rupees per share. But as you know, the issue price can be less than, it can be more than the paid up value. Like company have decided to reissue the share at a discounted price. So company have fixed the reissue price as as you tell me what should be the reissue price. The rule says the reissue price. Oh, sorry. The at the time of reissue, if company is willing to allow a discount to the new investor, then company may allow a discount to the new investor only to the extent of amount that has already received by the company. So, like as per our example, 7 rupees has already been received. So, maximum discount that a company may give to the new investor is of 7 rupees. If the paid value fixed by the company is 10 rupees, and company have already received 7, and the maximum discount that a company will be able to give to the new investor will be 7 rupees. That means new issue price could not be less than 3 per share. You understand that? New issue price cannot be less than 3 per share. Is it clear to you, friend?
Yes, sir.
That means maximum discount can never exceed the amount that has already been received in respect of these shares. If 7 rupees has already, let's suppose if the issue paid a value fixed by the company in respect of the share is 20 rupees, let's suppose for the time. Then in that situation, the issue price should be 13. It cannot be less than 30. A company fixes the paid value as 25, then in that situation, the issue price, the maximum discount that a company will be giving on this share is 7 rupees. That means issue price cannot be less than 18 per share. All right. So that is what is written here in the PowerPoint. It says at the time of reissue of shares, maximum discount that a company may allow cannot exceed the amount already received by the company when the shares were first issued to the public. Also, there is a rule that also talks about the issue price, reissue price. The previous statement was about the maximum discount that a company may allow. And second statement is regarding the what should be the minimum reissue price. So both these statements are interrelated. All right. So let's talk about the second point. It says at the time of reissue of shares, minimum price at which share can be reissued to the public cannot be less than unpaid value of the share. Cannot be less than the unpaid value of the share. So it is just vice versa of the previous statement. Maximum maximum discount that we can allow is to the extent of amount that we have already received, and minimum reissue price should be at least equal to the amount which is unpaid by the previous investor, right? Like as per our example, as per the example that we took, in this situation, what is the amount due in respect of these 100 shares? 3 rupees per share. So what should be the minimum reissue price? It should be minimum reissue price should be 3 rupees per share. Minimum reissue price cannot be less than 3. It can be more than 3, yes, it can be more than 3, 5, 17, 18, any value. It could be any value greater than 3, but it cannot be less than 3. Why? Because unpaid value in respect of these shares is 100. And paid value in respect of these 100 shares is 3 per share. I hope this is clear.
Yes,
Prerna,
sir.
is it clear to you? Zainab, is that clear to you as well? Okay. So both of you, I want you to note this down in your notebook, and based on it, we'll do a small question on the next slide. So kindly note this down quickly. Done. Is it Prerna? We're done.
Done, sir, done.
Okay. So based on it, we have a small question number 26. I think we don't have to solve this question. I think we can do this orally, I guess. Let me just read this question for you. Determine the maximum permissible discount and the minimum reissue price that a company can allow at the time of the reissue of forfeited share in the following cases. So we have three different situations given in the question. And in each question, in each case, we need to determine the maximum permissible discount that we may allow and minimum reissue price that a company should fix. All right, let's talk about case number one. It says a share of rupees 10 originally issued at a par on which application and allotment money of rupees 5 was received. Okay, so could you please tell me what should be the reissue price and the maximum discount that a company will be able to allow? A share of rupees 10 originally issued at par on which application allotment of 5
5.
per share has, yeah, 5 rupees is what? 5 rupees is the maximum discount that we may allow, number one. And 5 is also
Reissue
the
price.
reissue price. Yeah, 5 should also be at least the reissue price. Okay. Now moving on to the second case, a share of rupees 10 originally issued at premium of rupees 1 on which application allotment money including premium of rupees 5 was received. Now before discussing this question, let's get back to the previous slide. Here you can see in the column, inverted columns, I have written one point in while let's just focus upon the maximum discount statement. It says at the time of reissue of share, maximum discount that a company may allow cannot exceed the amount already received. Amount that already received excluding premium. That means by calculating the amount that has already been paid by the investor previously or the amount that has already been collected by the company, we won't count the amount of premium that has been collected. Premium will be kept aside. Premium will not be counted. Only the face value need to be considered. Okay. So now see, share of 10 was originally issued at a premium of 1, right? On this application and allotment, money was paid of rupees 5. Sorry, 5 rupees has been received by the company. So now see, 5 rupees is including 1 rupee for the premium as well. Now, just tell me what amount that company has received in respect of the face value. What amount company have received towards the face value of the share? It is 5 rupees or 4 rupees?
4 rupees.
Yes. So that means whenever it comes to the calculation of the amount received, we won't be counting the premium amount. So total amount received is 4 rupees. So that means the maximum discount that we may allow is rupees 4,
Yes,
right?
sir.
And
Yeah.
what should be the reissue price?
6 rupees.
Yes. Reissue price should be 6 rupees. That is right. Good job. Third case, a share of rupees 10 originally issued at a premium of rupees 1 on which application allotment money, excluding premium, 5 was received. Could you please tell me the face value? Oh, sorry, the reissue price and the discount that we may allow. Tell me
5.
quickly. Yes, 5. 5 as 5 should be the reissue price, 5 should be the maximum discount.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so this was question number 26. I don't think we need to solve this question. If you want to take a screenshot, do that quickly. We'll then move to the next question. You may take the screenshot of this question.
Done.
Yeah, okay. Now let's talk about question number 27. It says director of M Limited resolved on 1st May 2015 that 2000 equity shares of rupees 10 each, 7.5 paid, be forfeited for non-payment of final call of 2.50. On 10th June 2015, 1800 of these shares were reissued for rupees 6 per share with necessary journal entry. Okay, so firstly, question does not talk about which journal entry is required. It says we need to pass necessary journal entry. That means we will have to pass the journal entry for the forfeiture of shares as well as also for the reissue of those shares. Okay. So what do you think, Prerna? Do you think you will be able to pass the general entry for this question? Do you want to try?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm waiting for you to finish, and then I'll show you the correct answer. Zainab, I want you to try as well. You're not responding anything today, so I'm not sure whether you're there or not, and if you are able to understand everything or not. But if you are there and you're listening, then kindly solve question. Try to solve question number 20. Done, Prerna.
Still doing it.
Okay. Done now.
Yes, sir. Done.
Okay. See, this is the correct solution of this question. Firstly, we'll pass the general entry for the forfeiture of share, which will be share capital account debit to share forfeiture account for the needy, right? 20,000, then 15,000 and 5,000. Got it?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, here I want to add one more point. See, whatever the amount which has been credited to share forfeited account on the forfeiture of share, it's considered as a kind of gain. It is a kind of, you can for the time being call it profit, because the number of shares are being forfeited and the amount that has already been collected by the company is transferred to the share forfeited account. So that is considered as a part of, that is considered as a gain for the company. Okay. And the amount that company did not receive is caused in areas, that is transferred to the caused in areas. Okay. Now the same shares are being reissued. Now, on the date of reissue, the journal entry will be bank account debit 1800 into 6. Why 6? Because the reissue price is given in the question at 6 per share. Then bank account debit 10,800 to share capital. Do you find the paid up value of the shares being reissued in the question? Paid up, what will be the paid up value? Paid up value is not given in the question specifically. It's specifically about the forfeited shares being reissued. In respect of these shares, reissue price is given, but the paid up value for these shares is not given in the question. And I told you, whenever the paid up value is not given, you will always consider this equals to the face value of the shares which has been forfeited. So as per this question, face value of the shares were 10 rupees per share, right? So we will have to multiply 1800 into 10 to get 18,000. I hope you understand this point.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we can see there is a difference of 7,200 that will be transferred to the share forfeited account. Now see, we have issued the forfeited share at 6 per share, but the face value or the paid value of those shares were 10. So that means we have suffered a loss, kind of loss. So therefore, this loss has been debited to the forfeited account, right? Correct, na? So we have two things here. The profit that we earned on forfeiture of share has been earlier credited to share forfeited account, and the loss on reissue of shares has been debited to share forfeited account. Got it? So eventually, we have a profit of how much? We have a profit of 200. Sorry, no. We had suffered earlier, had a profit of 15,000. We had a profit of 15,000 by forfeiting 2,000 shares. And out of 2,000 shares, when we reissued 1,800 shares, we had a loss of 7,200. So this was the profit and this is the loss. So ultimately, we had what situation? We had a loss, right? Now we can say that we have a loss. We have a loss of what amount? We sorry, no. Ultimately, we have a profit. We have a profit of what amount? 15,000 minus 7,200. So 7,800 is the profit. You understand that? We have a profit of total of 78. But the thing is that, can you tell me this is the profit by in respect of how many shares? Because we have forfeited 2,000 shares and we had reissued 1,800 shares. So the profit which we have determined, which is 7,800, belongs to how many shares? 2,000 shares or 1,800 shares? We cannot we cannot determine that. Na? Basically, listen to me very carefully. whatever the profit that we have generated by adjusting the share forfeited account credit balance and by adjusting the debit balance of share forfeited account, the excess credit balance of the share forfeited account is considered as the profit, and this profit needs to be transferred to capital reserve account. We need to transfer this amount to the capital reserve account. But the problem is that we whatever the shares that we have forfeited, we have not issued the entire share. Out of those shares, we only issued 1,800 shares. And this profit here that we have got is not related to 2,000 shares. Neither it is completely related to 1,800 shares. Since we have issued 1,800 shares, so we can book only profit which relate to 1,800 shares. So in order to do that, what we'll do is we just do one thing. Okay, now let's not talk about the capital reserve part right now, because it will make you more confused about the concept. Let's just keep our discussion to this point only. We'll talk about the capital reserve, calculation of capital reserve to any other question. We'll talk about that later in the upcoming session. Let's in today's session let's keep our discussion to this point only. In today's session, we were talking about the issue of the forfeited shares. So I hope that the concept that we discussed is clear until this point. Apart from the capital reserve, forget about the capital reserve for the time being. We'll talk about that later in the upcoming session. But just tell me if everything is clear until this point.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So just let me check if I have any question that I can give you for the homework. Okay, so just one thing. Take the screenshot of question number 28. You may try this question. Comparatively difficult than the question number 27, but I think you'll be able to do it. It just requires you to pass the journal entry of all the things that have happened in this question, starting with the issue of shares and everything. And along with that, you need to prepare the capital account in this question as well. So just skip the preparation of the capital account. I'll do that for you in the next session. If you want to prepare the share capital account for this question, that is well and very good. If you can do that, but the homework will be just to journalize everything which is given in the question, starting with the issue of share, forfeiture of share, and this will also contain the reissue of shares. You need to journalize everything. All right. You don't have to prepare the share capital account, but if you can prepare the share capital account, that will be very good. Okay. I hope you understand what I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, sir.
Can you take the screenshot quickly?
Done, sir.
And do you want to try one more question? Will you be able to do question number 29 as well? Just take a screenshot if you got the time, and if you find this easy, you think you will be able to do this. So try solving it as well. Question number 29 for the homework also. In this question also, we need to pass the journal entry for everything, for like the issue of shares and.
You done, sir.
And so 2 questions are for the homework. This is it, friend. This is it for today's session. We'll talk about other things in the next session. We'll also talk about the capital reserve part that I was explaining, that I was not able to complete. We'll talk about that in the upcoming session. So this is it for today's class. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you in the next session. Till then, take care. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.